let's talk about countersteering. Countersteering is the act of pushing right on the handlebars, you go left. Pushing left on the handlebars, you go right. This is something... Let me kill some of this wind. This is something that everybody learns from childhood on. It is something that you do on your bicycle. It is something you do on your motorcycle. It's something that you do not think about. You don't even learn about it, usually until you have a motorcycle. Then you hear about the infamous countersteer. And people wonder, well, how do you do that? How do you countersteer? People tell you that you have to learn countersteer or how much you use countersteer on a motorcycle, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is, countersteer is something that you learned when you were 6 years old riding your bicycle. You do it without thinking. You will get on a motorcycle and you will also do it without thinking. I will do a little demonstration of countersteering. First, we're going to need to get it on the freeway. Once you have a freeway, get yourself up to a little bit of speed. Let's turn the cruise control on. I want to switch lanes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on that handlebar. Push it to straighten the bike out a little bit, and that gets me to switch lanes. So now I want to go back into that lane. I want to turn the handlebars so they are going to the left. So if I wanted to turn left at a slow speed, you would turn your handlebars this way. So I'm going to just give this a push. Just light, just a real light push, and that brings the bike back over into this lane. As you can see, the bike wants to go straight no matter what. There's a heavy wind hitting me from that side, but no matter what I do, this bike wants to go straight. That's the gyroscopic of the wheel. That is the wheel telling the bike that you are not going to fall over no matter what this guy does. I could hit the handlebars like that. It doesn't matter. This bike is not going to go anywhere. What is happening is when I want to turn into that lane, I want to, well, no, if I wanted to turn into that lane at a slow speed, I would crank the wheel this way, so I would turn left. Now, I will tell you, this takes a lot of brain power for me to physically do this, to make myself do this. It's hard to do. So, if I want to get in that lane, I turn that way, and it causes the bike to immediately go that way. What is happening, I'm going to move out of this guy's way. What is happening is that his wheel is constantly spinning. When I pull the bike this way, the wheel turns this way. That causes the wheel to fall away. So it is falling away because it wants to go like this. That causes the bike to lean that way, causes me to go that way. So now I'm going to turn the wheel that way. It's going to cause the bike, because of the wheel spinning, it's going to cause the bike to fall over that way. So I'm going to turn the wheel that way. And then I'm going to turn it back this way. That's it. That's all that's to countersteering. Like I said, you can't not do it. It's not something that your brain will physically let you screw up. I'm not going to try to get into that lane and end up in that ditch. I mentally cannot do that. Now for the second part of the countersteering, we got to find someplace fun to ride. Like this road. This is a road that I would consider one of those fun roads. Unfortunately, it's that time of day where there's a lot of traffic out here, so you don't really get the place to yourself like you do at 5 o'clock in the morning versus 5 o'clock at night. But it gives you a little bit of an excuse to use your countersteering. for example, this curve up here, I'm going to counter steer to cause my bike to lean over and flow through the curve. Then I'm going to counter steer back and it causes the bike to lean over and go through the curve. One thing you just want to keep in mind though is that you do not think about counter steering. You will never think about it. Just get into the curve and have some fun. Lean a little bit, bring the bike right over. Look through the curve. Do not look at traffic coming at you. Just look through the curve. Look as far as you can through that curve. And the bike will just flow right through that curve. If you feel like you're going too fast into a curve, just remember, it's going to be okay. Just look through that curve. Your bike can handle a lot more curve, a lot more corners than you ever will. Just look through that curve. I like to roll on a little throttle. You don't need to roll on. Look at that guy crossing the lane. You don't have to roll onto the throttle, but I kind of enjoy it. You just need to maintain that speed. Just look through that curve though. You want to look past this truck. Don't even look at this truck in front of you. Just look right past him. You want to see what's coming out as far as you can. Now, let's talk about not counter steering. Let's do a U-turn. Look around. Turning to make the bike turn. Look in your rear mirror, make sure nobody's coming. Now, by all means, you can go through these curves as slow as you want, as fast as you want. You can go through them at 6th gear. You can go through them in 3rd gear. I like going through them in 3rd. It's just kind of fun. Then you just let her drop down, bring her back up. Roll right through there. Watch for gravel on the road. See this guy? He's got a lot of gravel on the road. That's okay though. You'll feel the tires skip out a little bit. Just go with it. The tires will re-grip. You feel that little bit of skipping, it's not going to hurt nothing. It'll freak you out a little bit, but you get used to it. And that's it. That's the fun of counter steering. Nothing to it. You won't even think about it. You just do it.